Anime age gaps are insane. Recently in Chainsawman in episode 7, Himeno was kind of running amok and Twitter just took storm and had something to say about it. And in this case, I think it's pretty valid. Himeno and our main antagonist Denji had a little moment, if you want to say that. It's pretty gross, I ain't gonna hold you, but the intent behind the moment is what people are talking about more so than the moment itself. With Denji being 16 years old at this point and Himeno not having a confirmed age, but obviously he's probably around at least early 20s to like mid 20s, you know, we have a lot to say here. It's not a good look. So what I saw on social media, a lot of people were mad because they were like, oh my gosh, Himeno does something predatory, nobody cares. A guy does it, everybody's mad. And honestly, I don't want to talk about that because I feel like these are two independent cases. I just don't understand the gender wars dilemma that we have going on. If one gender does something predatory and another gender does something predatory, why does it matter? So in this case, I feel like the point is useless because we're talking about Himeno here. This is her scene. Nothing else really kind of matters. Like, that information doesn't help this situation. So in general, today we're going to be taking a deep dive into anime ages and kind of looking at the dark side of anime age gaps. In come the PowerPoint slide, The Problem with Anime Age Gaps by Blank Thoughts. Thank you. If you guys don't already know, I want you to guess the age of consent in Japan. 13 years old. Do people even hit puberty at 13? Like, I don't even know. What's kind of weirder is that the age of consent is 13 while the age of marriage is like 15. So like, you can consent and then still not be able to marry until 2 years later. It's so strange to me. So I did some research into this topic. From what I found, this law was made in 1905, where the average age of a woman would be around 44 years old. So in this case, to allow women to marry, have kids, and have grandchildren during their lifespan, the age was so low so they can live through all that. But guys, this is 1905. That number has shot up to 84 years old, 40 more years than when the law was passed. So we have a law that is being used from 1905 that is being run in 2022 with a completely different basis on why it was initially indoctrinated. So it does look like there have been some attempts to raise it to 16 with a 5-year age gap in between. I still think this is pretty low, but at least it's steps. But you can kind of see how this culture has kind of evolved through the law system in Japan. In my personal opinion, I've always seen it like this. If you're not in the same maturity or life situation as the person you're trying to get at, you probably should not be getting at them. If you're about to graduate college, you should not be messing with someone who's about to graduate high school. If you pushing 30, you should not be messing with nobody that's pushing 20. I'm sorry. Again, that's my opinion. I'm not the law. I'm just a random black dude in a room. But in this case with Himeno, it kind of makes sense why the scene isn't really a big deal in Japan. Again, with the attempt of the new law, 16 is right where Denji is at, and say like they just made her like 21, that's like in the law, like she'd be all right. But from an American perspective, this is kind of just a weird situation overall. It just looks like a drunk woman tries to hit on virgin high school boy. It just doesn't work. I don't care if she's bad. It should have been me, not him. So we're going to be looking at different generations of anime and how this has kind of been a problem for like decades now. So throwing it back all the way into the 90s, we have Rurouni Kenshin. When I first watched the series, I did not know Kenshin was as old as he is. Honestly, they could have made it so he's just younger. I don't think his age has that much to do with the plot per se. Kenshin during the main anime is around 28 years old, while Kaori is around 17 years old. A full 11-year age gap. Kenshin is the literal definition of, hey, I'm pushing 30. Again, this is like kind of rural Japan, so you can say like in this generation, stuff like this was pretty normal. Again, you gotta stop dick riding, but okay, do you. But with the news of the Rurouni Kenshin author being arrested for owning child pornography, I look at this and it just gives me, it's an overall bad taste. Again, without this information being brought up, yeah, I think it's kind of fair to say like, hey, there's just an accurate way that at this time, Japan was being run. And at this time, it's not really that weird of a relationship. Nowadays, this is just really weird. Anytime I have any opportunity to go at Eva, I will. I hate this series so much, man. So much. I really do hate End of Eva, but this is like the icing on the cake. When I saw this, I was like, there's no way this is in people's top 5. It's just a very unnecessary scene. Literally at the end of the movie, it's just Misato, again, at the age of 29 years old, again, pushing 30, just decides to make out with the most hormonal, depressed, just all over the place 14-year-old you could probably find in anime. This is the definition of predatory. What is Shinji gonna do in this situation, bro? If I'm Shinji, what am I gonna do in this situation? It's freaking Masato, bro. She bad. It's a scene that didn't need to happen, and I'm not gonna spoil what happens after, but you know, I don't feel bad. I will not let people forget about Domestic Girlfriend. This show was a mess, and it was like that since jump. For y'all that do not know this relationship right here, Natsuro, 16, his teacher, 23, that's also, wait for it, is his stepsister and is the sister to the first person he laid the pipe to. Now we're gonna get into spoilers, because this is even crazier, bro. Because at the end, he gets the sister pregnant and then marries this chick. So again, something as wild as an age gap happening in this series isn't too crazy to me. This series as a whole just tries to shove shock factor in your face. But 16 seems like the new age that like new anime are saying like, oh, it's fine if they're with the older woman because they're 16. There's also like this weird demographic of like, hey, I'm a old ancient mythical beast. I have like all these years of experience of all these years of life that I lived. But you know what? I'm gonna go after the high schooler. An example of this is Ancient Magus Bride. So thank God this isn't like too much of a big romance in this series, at least from what I've seen. Obviously these two do eventually get married. That's an element of the story, but this dude's like hundreds of years old and she's like 17. But like this happens with Kami-sama Kiss, Tonikawa Over the Moon. I think the point of it is like, oh, there's some type of romantic element where it's like, oh, I've been searching for hundreds of years. I couldn't find anybody that would be close to being my wife. And this high schooler, she pops in and changed my life. It's just stupid, bro. It's just so stupid to me. I understand the point, I understand the direction, and of course it's taking like an element in real life and just making it 10,000 times worse. And that's what anime does sometimes. Like you could have just done like, hey, like, you know, I'm like 25, haven't had a girlfriend yet, and then I finally find someone when I'm 25 that's of age. It would be the same effect, bro. I don't know why you have to do like hundreds of years. Tonikawa is 1,000. Kami-sama Kiss is 600. It's unnecessary, and there's better ways to go about this. I don't understand why we give the best animation to the series that just really don't need it. I was like 3 episodes into this series, and I was like, bro, I feel like this would be a banger. But he's 45, bro. But After the Rain is basically a high schooler that has this major crush on this 45-year-old cafe manager who is her boss. Again, not the best look. I think the good part here though is that the guy really doesn't do anything throughout the series and nothing really happens between them. This is just her having this huge crush on this 45-year-old man. And this is just a approach that I think shoujo takes. Like, oh my gosh, I have a crush on an older guy. That's so crazy. Let's make a manga about it. And even guys do that too. There's always like, oh, that one teacher in class or just that older person that just like looks attractive, but like you're a kid, so you can like anybody you kind of want. We've probably all been there. It's just like, I just don't need an anime about it. This is a recent one that came out in 2021 where the whole premise is like, hey, she curved me the first time, but I'm gonna just keep going. The age gap being 17 and 27, so a full 10-year age gap where he eventually like gets with her, but still, it's like, bro, like, why? This one kind of gets me irritated the most because not only did it come in 2021, only 1 year ago, but it's like a double-decker of just bad. Like, not only am I a pedo, but I don't even understand boundaries. It's like, bro, how much worse can you be? This one I had to do my research for, man. When Hayao Miyazaki said anime was a mistake, he was probably talking about this. So homeboy likes this chick who's a minor, but he doesn't know, but he finds out that this is his sister the whole time, like blood, and then he just doesn't care. Why even implement that as a plot point? I was researching this, I was like, bro, please, FBI, please don't hop out of any door out of my room, bro. Examples like this could actually go on forever, and throughout the decades, we've had anime do this time and time and time again. Even the idea of manga drawing these girls in like these suggestive manners kind of gets talked about in the community a lot. I know that recently Horikoshi had a drawing of an invisible girl not being invincible. It was kind of like kind of wild. Like, Horikoshi, like, I understand what you're trying to do, but you didn't have to do it. And normally I like to see an environment where this is not so normalized within the anime community, but honestly I don't see that happening anytime soon. This is more of a Japan societal issue than just a anime issue in general, which again sucks because anime is becoming so mainstream now. A lot of people get into anime when they're kind of younger, and them seeing this type of stuff as a younger person and seeing maybe someone who is older approach them on a similar type of basis, it just isn't the best situation. There's already so many untalked about cases of of people being involved with people they should not be getting involved with as a whole. So seeing a meme that kind of propagates it to the way it doesn't really help the issue as a whole. And this anime that's coming out as recent as this year that are still pushing this agenda. But what are you guys' thoughts on it? Honestly, the video kind of came to mind after seeing the Himeno stuff, but again, this is an issue that's been happening forever now. Thank you guys for all the support on the channel. You guys have been blowing it up like crazy. If you guys haven't already, and you guys already like the videos, please leave a like, subscribe, or leave a comment in the comment section below. I always appreciate you guys' support. And yeah, guys, hope you guys have a great day. Yeah, these are gonna be my blank thoughts.